Can you smell what the Rock is cooking?
WBCB presents Pro Wrestling Weekly.
Tell me he didn't just say that.
Call in with a question or comment at 215-949-3232 or 888-922-2149.
The Tower of Power, too sweet to be sour, funky like a monkey, holy yeah.
And now, here's your host of Pro Wrestling Weekly, Fearon.
It doesn't matter what your name is.
Really? Yeah!
Yes, we are on. Hello and welcome to Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. We're going to get right into it today. A little bit later this hour, I have the interview. In case you missed it yesterday, WBCB's own Big Kahuna Paul Baroli. He spoke over the phone with Kurt Angle, TNA Heavyweight Champion, defending the title tomorrow here in Philadelphia at the Bound For Glory pay-per-view. The Kahuna and Kurt Angle chatting for a little over 20 minutes, and I've got the interview in its entirety. We've got that coming up in the second segment. So the first and third segment will be your phone calls. First and third segments, actually. A little bit of a correction there. Should be a good time. Let's go ahead and get right to the phones. We've already got a couple people patiently waiting. Let's get to Dan from Chicago. Dan, welcome to Pro Wrestling Weekly.
What's up, Ron? How you doing this week?
Oh, wow. I'm firing on all cylinders and going in about 1,000 different directions. Help rein me in here.
I'm surprised you didn't get any any live interviews with your show today.
Well, you have to realize that, first of all, right now going on down... oh, gosh, I forget exactly where it is. I've got all the paperwork and whatnot. As soon as I'm done here, I'm going to be heading down to the fan interaction thing that they've got going on there. And the Kahuna and I have gotten access to that, so I don't know if we're necessarily going to be able to interview anybody, but we are at least going to go down. You'll probably see a picture of myself, hopefully with, of all people, Hogan, Flair, among others. But as far as the scheduling for today, it's been the Airport Marriott. Thank you, Mike Samsel. That is good TNA wrestler location knowledge by you, good sir. Very well done. Yes, they're at the Airport Marriott. We'll be heading down there a little bit later today for the fan interaction stuff going on, but a lot of the wrestlers are tied up with that today, so I couldn't exactly get them to call in or check in up here because they've got that going on. I know Angle specifically. He's getting pulled in all kinds of different directions, as is Hogan. So it was, we were just thankful we were able to get him, and that's it was, as I said, it was a great interview. You'll hear it a little bit later, and I'm just gracious that I'm grateful that he was able to graciously come on the air, spend a little bit of time with us here.
I'm on the fence on getting the pay-per-view. I'm not sure what I want to do with it because over here I got the Bears and I even forget who the Bears of Minnesota. So I don't know. I'm on the fence on what to do. I sort of want to get it because very rarely you see Hogan in the ring. You know what I mean?
This might be one of those last opportunities. Right.
That's why I'm on the fence on getting the pay-per-view. You talked me into getting it.
I talked you into getting it.
You talked me into getting it.
Huh.
Talk me on what I can look forward to.
Oh, you're saying okay. Headphones are still a little bit quirky here. Well, obviously, I mean, you've got, as you said, Hulk Hogan for the possibly the last time. We're not really sure. I mean, obviously, given his health, I mean, how many more times are we going to see Hogan getting physical in some sort of a ring? The Full Metal Mayhem match between Rob Van Dam and Jerry Lynn, those two always tear the house down whenever they get in the ring together. And speaking of tearing the house down, obviously you've got AJ Styles and Christopher Daniels, that I Quit match. That should sell the show.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of looking forward to. You know what I mean? That match should be pretty intense. Who do you think's going to come out on that one?
I'm leaning toward AJ Styles. There's an early prediction certain to go wrong.
And then I'll go with Christopher Daniels.
You'll go with Daniels. Well, I mean, I say that, but I'm 50-50. It's like a coin flip, So I mean, I just kind of say that because more often I'm I'm sure if I actually gathered all the numbers over the course of the last 2.5 years, I'd probably be somewhere about, getting maybe 45% of them right. So that's the only reason why I know that I'm wrong a little bit more often than I'm right. So I'm, kind of borrowing off of somebody else.
It's not too bad, believe it or not. I don't have the numbers, but every time you say that, I get mad when I check the results. I'm like, you're not doing bad, so shut up with that.
I'm probably, like I said, right about 50-50, but at this point it's kind of like it's a gimmicky thing, so I just kind of roll with it.
Right. I don't think Bobby Roode is ready yet to be the world champion. I predict Kurt Angle a successful title defense.
That's what I've got going on, and I will admit there is probably a little bit of bias because he was he was on our airwaves some 22 hours ago, so I think that may have a little something to do with it.
But still, I don't think Bobby.
But you are right in that regard. I mean, it's nice that he's getting this push, but the timing. I mean, this might be something where perhaps 6 months down the road at Lockdown, since that seems to be their other big pay-per-view of the year, that might be something where April 2012, that might be the time where you see Bobby Roode or perhaps another young star step up and get into the world title picture.
I actually think that party's going to have something to do with the Hogan-Sting match.
Oh, I don't even know where to begin with the Hogan-Sting match. I'm crossing my fingers and just, you hope that nobody gets hurt, I guess, is probably usually to use your football analogy, if you know two teams that you're rivals against are facing each other, you kind of hope, you hope for a draw or a tie, or you hope that they get hurt. In this case, you're just kind of hoping no one gets hurt because, I mean, obviously Sting and Hogan, a couple of legends. Their combined age in the ring is 110, if my math is right.
Who do you think's going to win on that one?
I'm leaning toward Hogan. Only because I have a feeling that that'll further the storyline of control of the company that really everyone's just about lost interest in. Huh?
Then they're going to have to have a rematch then.
Perhaps. But I mean, it depends on what kind of there's going to be some sort of interference because it's a no disqualification. Essentially, it's a fight. So anything goes. There's going to be tons of interference. I mean, Hogan has gone on record on interviews and said he's not going to be taking any kind of back bumps. So there's going to be a lot of protection to make sure that there's some semblance of an entertaining battle. I don't even know if we can't really call it a match necessarily, but an entertaining battle that'll give the fans the proverbial bang for their buck.
This doesn't, how they say every year that Bound for Glory is the biggest Super Bowl of the year for Impact Wrestling. Well, you know what? It doesn't feel, maybe because they're not in a big stadium, but it doesn't feel like it. I'm sure to you, because you're going and you're excited and you can't wait, for you it's probably a WrestleMania type atmosphere. But to me, I'm not feeling it on TV. They didn't do enough this weekend. Like tonight, they should have a show on Spike TV tonight promoting the event, like an hour long, like an hour, like special, kind of going over the major storylines, kind of hyping up what's led up to each match. Yeah, I kind of feel that. I see where you're going with that, and I don't know if necessary. I think that is more a production thing than anything else because, well, if they were able to do that, I mean, that means a little bit more. I mean, it wouldn't matter if you had it at the local high school gym, if you had it at the Leocore Center, if you had it at inside Lincoln Financial Field, which seats 65,000. It's a matter of getting people to want to be interested in it. Right. I'd love to switch gears and talk about that ESPN 360 show that's coming up on Wednesday with Scott Hall. Oh yeah, the E60 that should be interesting. For those who didn't see, Dan actually put up a video link, I believe, on the Facebook page WBCB Pro Wrestling Weekly. This I believe it's this Wednesday. I think so, yeah.
Yeah, this Wednesday the 19th, Scott Hall is going to be featured in an ESPN E60 documentary that's basically going to chronicle his fall from grace, really. obviously going from being a noted star back in the 90s to the numerous personal demons and those demons leading to the health issues that he's currently fighting an uphill battle to stay alive with.
It's sad. It just looks kind of pathetic.
It is a little bit. I mean, but all you can do is hope that he pulls through it.
I hope to God we don't see him this Sunday at Bound For Glory.
I don't think they're going to go that route. I mean, if Nash were there, it'd be more likely, but since Nash is kind of freelancing, doing some stuff for WWE and some other things, I don't think there's really any reason, especially in his condition, to bring Scott Hall in at this point.
Right, it should be interesting. I'll let you go. I know you got a lot going on, and I'll let you go, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right, thanks. I appreciate it, Dan. All right, let's go ahead and switch gears, go quickly here to Ron. Ron, welcome to Pro Wrestling Weekly.
How you doing this week?
Good.
I'm sitting here watching the Raw from Monday night. I didn't get to see it Monday night, and on my DVR, and I'm seeing with that guy, John, whatever his name is.
John Laurinaitis?
Yeah, Fire JR. And JR looked like he didn't even care.
Well, a lot of that, I think, is because it seems like any time we're in Oklahoma City, there is that issue where, something is going to happen to JR, whether it's him getting fired. I don't know. Who's gotten fired more, JR by somebody in the WWE on camera or George Jetson by Mr. Spacely? I mean, we've seen so many firings of Jim Ross, it's almost getting comical. It's almost like a staple of each show. And, almost like Kenny getting killed in South Park.
I would have had him fired, maybe, I recall, but JR and Jim Ross was it. JR and Jerry Lawler are good together. I mean, it's my opinion. I don't like Michael Cole.
Yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, and they've been trying for ages to fix it. We're going to let you go. There's a little bit of an echo feedback going on here. Thanks so much for the call, Ron. Greatly appreciate it. Got to keep moving anyway here. Got coming up in the next segment, we've got the interview that the Big Kahuna had with Kurt Angle. That'll be coming up. We'll get one more call, and then we'll get to that on the other side. Let's go to Danny. Danny, welcome to Pro Wrestling Weekly.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. What's going on?
It's actually Manny. Or
Uno. Oh, Manny. I'm sorry.
That's all right. Yeah, that guy from Chicago, he could talk, couldn't he? He could talk the ears off an elephant, I think.
Yeah, he's certainly got some opinions, and he's certainly been a loyal caller to the show. Anyway, what's on your mind? You go ahead and bring your voice to the program here.
Yeah, I know this is a wrestling show, but did you ever talk to any boxing? Who you like in the Hopkins fight tonight?
Well, we don't get a whole lot into boxing here. Like I said, I kind of go with the flow. We've delved off into baseball and football on rare occasions here, but as far as the Hopkins fight, I'll admit my knowledge is a little bit limited on it. I haven't really been following it since the days of Tyson and Holyfield, for example. But Hopkins is a Philly guy, so I guess that's where I've got to lean, not really knowing much else about it.
All right, great. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Have a good weekend.
Oh, no problem. A rare boxing call that we get here. Rather interesting. Anyway, let's see. Bill, we have somebody else on the line there? Is that okay? It was something else. All right. We're going to take care of a little bit of business, and when we come back, I've got the interview from yesterday, Kurt Angle, and then on the other side of that, we'll get more of your calls, 215-949-3232, or toll-free at 888-922-2149. This is Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com.